A clinical trial designed to test a gut health supplement for people with high blood pressure found something nobody expected. It raised their blood pressure. Today we examine butyrate, the compound your gut bacteria make from fiber, and the one that trial suggests isn't as simple as the supplement industry claims. Welcome to Ingredient Verdict, where we examine one ingredient at a time, no hype, just the evidence. Butyrate has become one of the most talked about compounds in gut health circles, praised as essential for a healthy microbiome, and increasingly sold as a standalone supplement promising better gut health in a capsule. And later in this video, we'll get to why taking it as a supplement might not do what people assume it does. Quick note before we start. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting any supplement, especially if you have a cardiovascular condition. Let's start with what butyrate actually is. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid, produced not by your body, but by bacteria in your colon when they ferment dietary fiber. As we covered in our broccoli video, certain fiber-rich vegetables feed the specific bacterial strains that produce it. Butyrate is the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon, and it plays a central role in maintaining the gut barrier, the layer that keeps bacteria and toxins from leaking into your bloodstream. This is why butyrate has such a strong reputation. Research consistently links higher butyrate production from a fiber-rich diet to better gut lining integrity, reduced inflammation, and a healthier microbiome overall. That part of the story is well established and not really in dispute. Why has butyrate specifically become a supplement, rather than just advice to eat more fiber? Part of the appeal is convenience. Producing meaningful butyrate through diet requires consistently feeding the right bacterial strains over time. It's a slow, indirect process. A supplement promises to skip that entirely. Swallow a capsule. Get the compound directly, no dietary overhaul required. That pitch has proven popular enough that butyrate now shows up in gut health stacks alongside probiotics and fiber blends, marketed with the same confident, uncomplicated language used for the diet-derived version. The question is what actually happens when you skip the fiber and fermentation process entirely, and just take butyrate directly. This is where the research gets more complicated than the marketing suggests. A randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trial specifically tested oral butyrate supplementation in people with hypertension, high blood pressure. The expectation, based on butyrate's anti-inflammatory reputation, was that it might help. Instead, the group taking the butyrate supplement saw their blood pressure increase compared to placebo. The researchers themselves described the finding as one that warrants caution before recommending oral butyrate supplementation broadly. We want to be clear about what this does and doesn't mean. It's one trial, in a specific population, people who already had hypertension, and it doesn't mean butyrate is dangerous for everyone. But it directly contradicts the assumption baked into most butyrate supplement marketing, which treats it as a straightforwardly beneficial compound with no real downside. Why would a compound that's beneficial when your own gut bacteria produce it cause problems when taken as a pill? One proposed explanation involves location and dose. Butyrate produced naturally by gut bacteria is released gradually, in the colon, in relatively small concentrated bursts near the cells that use it. An oral supplement delivers a much larger dose, absorbed differently, and reaching parts of the body that don't normally see butyrate at that concentration. Some researchers suspect this may affect blood vessel function differently than the slow, localized production your gut bacteria normally provide. This remains a proposed mechanism, not a confirmed one. We'd call it a reasonable hypothesis rather than settled science. There's also the question of what form of butyrate is being taken, because not all butyrate supplements are chemically identical. Most butyrate supplements come as sodium butyrate, which some research suggests may deliver a meaningful sodium load at typical doses. Worth knowing if you're already managing blood pressure or sodium intake generally. An alternative form, tributyrin, is metabolized differently and releases butyrate more gradually as it moves through the gut, closer to how your own bacteria would produce it. Whether that slower release form avoids the blood pressure effect seen in the sodium butyrate trial hasn't been directly tested. It's a reasonable question, not an answered one. What does the rest of the human research show? Human trials on butyrate supplementation for gut conditions specifically, including inflammatory bowel disease and irritable bowel syndrome, have shown more encouraging, though still mixed, results. Several small trials have found improvements in symptoms and inflammatory markers in these populations. This creates a genuinely nuanced picture, potentially useful for specific gut conditions in some studies, while showing an unexpected cardiovascular signal in a hypertension-specific trial. Both findings are real, they just don't add up to the simple, "Butyrate is good for you" story the supplement aisle tells. This is a good example of why isolating a single beneficial compound from a complex biological process doesn't always work the way supplement marketing implies. Your gut doesn't just produce butyrate in isolation, it produces it alongside dozens of other short-chain fatty acids, signaling molecules, and bacterial byproducts, all interacting together. Extracting one piece and concentrating it into a capsule changes the context the compound normally operates in, and that context may matter more than marketing accounts for. There are a few other emerging findings worth knowing about, even though the human evidence for them is still early. In animal and cell studies, butyrate has shown a surprising role beyond the gut, helping preserve the integrity of the blood-brain barrier, the protective boundary that controls what can pass from your bloodstream into your brain. In mice, butyrate supplementation helped maintain this barrier's function even under conditions that normally weaken it. This research is still entirely preclinical, but it's part of a growing body of work on the so-called gut-brain axis. Separately, animal research has also found that butyrate can promote sleep. In one study, rats given oral butyrate showed a 70% increase in non-REM sleep within 6 hours, alongside a drop in body temperature typically associated with sleep onset. Again, this is rat data, not human data, and nobody should read this as, "take butyrate for sleep." But it's a genuinely interesting thread in a growing picture of how gut bacteria communicate with the rest of the body. Where does this leave someone who actually wants more butyrate in their system? The foods that reliably support butyrate production haven't changed. Resistant starch from cooled potatoes and rice, oats, legumes, and the cruciferous vegetables we covered in our broccoli video all feed the bacterial strains responsible for making it. This route delivers butyrate the way your body evolved to receive it, gradually, locally, and alongside the broader ecosystem of compounds your gut bacteria produce together. One more practical note on food sources. A 2025 human study found that eating fermented vegetables, specifically fermented carrots, kohlrabi, and kimchi, over 3 weeks increased the abundance of butyrate-producing bacteria in participants' gut microbiomes. So alongside fiber and resistant starch, fermented vegetables appear to be another genuine, evidence-backed way to support your body's own butyrate production. So here's our verdict. For most healthy people, the strongest and best supported way to benefit from butyrate remains what it's always been. Eating enough fiber to let your own gut bacteria produce it, gradually, in the location your body evolved to use it. As we covered in our broccoli video, cruciferous vegetables and other fiber-rich foods are the well-established path here. For butyrate supplements specifically, the evidence is genuinely mixed. Some populations, particularly those with certain gut conditions, may benefit under medical guidance. But if you have high blood pressure or any cardiovascular condition, the hypertension trial is a real reason to talk to your doctor before adding an oral butyrate supplement. Not just assume it's a safe, beneficial addition because it's marketed as one. That's our verdict on butyrate. Bottom line, what your gut makes naturally and what comes in a capsule aren't always the same story. Read the label, not the marketing. If this was useful, subscribe. In every video we examine one ingredient, no hype, just the evidence. What ingredient would you like us to examine next? Drop it in the comments below. See you next time.